Howdy there. Welcome to the Old Time TV Show.
Welcome to the Easton Community Access Television and the Old Time TV Show.
An eclectic collection of classic comedy, drama, and variety shows. Join us as we travel back in time to the earliest days of broadcast television. And now, on to the show.
Bonanza, first airing in 1959, was one of many Western TV shows airing in that time period. Unlike many of its contemporaries, however, Bonanza was less an action-packed adventure of the week and more a family drama, centered on the Cartwright family and their ranch, the Ponderosa. Episodes have a tendency to focus on social issues, particularly racial and gender issues, rather than simple gunfights. The show ran until 1973, and in that time won 3 Emmys out of 12 nominations. Please enjoy Bonanza.
Not many men are so privileged as we are to see a new civilization born before our own eyes.
There are times in the streets of Virginia City when I question the use of the word civilization.
It is always that way with the new hop sing. A diamond, before it is polished, seems no more than a clod of dirt. Is this the American way to toast on an American occasion?
To your son on his 18th birthday.
To my son Jimmy's American birthday, to the joining of the past and the present, to create a finer future. You have honored my house, and now there is much to do. You are fortunate to know the Cartwright family so well, Hop Sing. It pleases me to know that here in America, the affection and respect of the sons for the father is as strong as it is in the land of our ancestors.
The Cartwrights have great respect for you, my uncle, and admiration for your son.
I am happy that the younger sons will honor us with their presence at the birthday party. And do not worry, Hop Sing. Your friend Hoss will be fed as well as if you yourself did the cooking.
Hey, you. You speak to me?
Yeah. You and me work good together, Billy boy. We're gonna have to clean a lot more of this dirt out of here before Virginia City is a fit place to live.
Little Joe, is it sure enough true we're going to have bird's nest for dinner at Jimmy Chang's birthday party?
That's what Adam told us.
I ain't for sure I'm going to like that.
Well, it's something to eat. You'll like it, all right.
I'm sick.
Paul, Adam, come out here, quick!
Say, what happened to your boy? What happened to your boy?
Can you talk, Hop Sing?
Looks like he's been a pretty bad fight.
Yeah. Paul, let me help him in the house.
You forget about it. Hop Sing, all right. It's Chinese business only.
What do you mean by that, Paul? You don't think he's tangled up in one of them Tong things we heard about, do you?
No, I don't, son. The Tong is a protective organization composed of civilized people.
I wonder how much more this has been going on.
A lot of it, particularly in the California gold mines. I didn't think any of it had spread over the mountains.
Well, why would anybody want to do a thing like this?
Because Hop Sing is Chinese.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard of, Paul. I feel like going in there and tearing that town apart board by board.
No, you won't, son. You'll go to Jimmy Chang's birthday party tomorrow, just as you planned.
Or I suppose we just forget about the fact that somebody beat up on Hop Sing.
We're not going to forget about it, but we're not going to stir up more trouble for the Chinese than they already have.
You sure you got enough money?
Oh, yes, sir, Paul. We done paid for Jimmy Chang's present. We're just gonna go pick it up.
All right. Well, we'll see you later.
What was it you wanted, Lee Chang?
Oh, today is birthday of my son.
Ain't that nice?
Would like to buy 18 small American flags.
All right.
Why, you're plumb out of them flags, ain't you, Hammond?
Hmm? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I don't have any American flags, Chang. I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
I don't have any. You'll have to go some other place.
Thank you. I will try Campbell's on C Street.
He don't have none either. And neither does anybody else in town.
Lee Chang, my friend.
Mr. Byrne, Mr. Adam, it would seem my unworthy nephew feeds the food to bring good health.
It would seem Hop Sing feeds my brother Hoss a few extra servings, too.
Well, this is a big day in your life, Chang. You'll be mighty proud of that boy of yours.
Mr. Cartwright, could I ask you a question, please?
Well, of course. Anything you want, you know that.
There are customs of your people I do not understand. I'd wished for my son an American birthday party.
I wouldn't worry about it. Just give him a cake with candles.
Oh, yes. It must be candles and not flags.
What do you mean, Chang?
I had thought to put American flags on the cake, but I understand it is not permitted.
Who says so?
Oh, it's no matter.
Chang, did Hammond refuse to sell you American flags to put on Jimmy's cake?
I did not understand. I do not wish trouble.
Adam, Ben, it's good to see you. And what can I do for my favorite customers?
We'd like to buy some American flags.
I don't have any of them little ones, Ben.
And how did you know we wanted some of those little ones?
Yeah, maybe we wanted a great big one.
Well, do you?
You run in the store now, Jesse?
No. No, I just take care of my own affairs, that's all.
Well, then stay out of ours.
You pack a grudge a long time, Adam.
Well, how about it, Hammond?
I'm just sure we don't have none.
Now, why don't you take a nice, hard look?
We're right here. Yeah. Here's some of them. I didn't know I had any left. Let's see, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many of them did you need?
18. They're to be put on a birthday cake.
Oh. There's a few extra. That'll be $1. Thank you.
Adam, you shouldn't let Jesse Tibbs get under your skin that way.
I can't help it. Nothing but a cattle thief and a hired gun, and yet he walks around loose.
He'll trap himself in time.
Andy Fulmer. Well, this town's getting pretty hard up for somebody to run for mayor, isn't it?
Adam, is Jesse Tibbs still foreman of that ranch that Andy Fulmer bought out south of Carson?
As far as I know. Yeah, Hop Sing, the business with the flags with Lee Chang.
Yeah, that sounds just about like the kind of tactics that Fulmer would use. First the Irish and now the Chinese.
America for the Americans. That's a pretty tired platform.
Adam, do me a favor. Will you take these flags over to Lee Chang? Tell him that Hammond just misunderstood him.
What are you up to?
Somebody I want to talk to.
Come in. And Cartwright, I'm rightly honored. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit, Mr. Cartwright?
You don't have to go through any of the formalities, Mr. Fulmer. We've known each other for some time. What school did you get that from?
School of Hard Knocks, same one you went to, Ben.
Only I don't call myself a lawyer.
Folks get in trouble, they come to me for advice. Ain't nothing in the law says I can't charge a fee for helping them. Now, just what did you have on your mind, Ben?
Andy? I understand you're fixing to run for mayor.
That's right.
Andy, what's your platform?
Virginia City for Virginia City. Short, sweet, and to the point. You like that?
Well, it depends on what it means.
It means Virginia City belongs to the folks that made it what it is. It means we don't want outsiders.
Well, now, what's your definition of an outsider, Andy?
Well, now, Ben, you live outside the city and you can't vote for me anyhow, even if you would. But I'll be glad to spell it out for you anyway. It means our town's being overrun by foreigners who are willing to work for nothing, and they're taking the bread and butter out of the mouths of folks like us who built this country.
Now, by foreigners, Andy, who do you mean? The Irish, or the Welsh, or the Chinese?
Now, before you start giving me any of that high-flown talk about prejudice, you just stop and remember this camp's full of those same Irishmen and Welshmen and Cornishmen, and those are the very people I mean to protect.
I wasn't going to give you any high-flown talk about prejudice, Andy. I just wanted to know where you stood.
Yeah. Does that mean you're against me, Ben?
Well, Andy, it means that if I find out that you or any of your boys had anything to do with beating up my cook, I'll tie a rope around you. I'll drag you up and down Main Street.
Now, Ben, like I said before, you don't live in this city. And you can't vote for me nohow. So why don't you just stay out of this campaign?
I guess you just invited me in, Andy.
Joe. Doggone that Jimmy Chang. Just when I got a surprise birthday present right out the open, we'd have to run into it.
I didn't expect to see you till tonight. You are coming to the party, aren't you?
Sure we're coming, Jimmy.
What's the matter, Hoss?
We really gonna eat bird's nest?
My father said he felt the same way about the first piece of apple pie he ever saw. See you later. I gotta get to the stable and get to work.
Take it easy, Jimmy. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
Made up his mind to go to college, and he'll do it, too.
You reckon he knew this was his birthday present?
If he couldn't figure that out, he sure has no sense going to college. Hey, good looking.
You know better than to say a thing like that in public.
You didn't seem to mind it so much last night.
Why, Billy Wheeler, I wasn't even with you last night.
Then who were you with, Sally? Tommy Gaines or Ned Wilkins or the Pierce kid? Or maybe him?
What if I was?
I didn't know you was making fun. I'd slap your mouth.
Let go of me.
Suppose I tell your daddy what you just said. What do you think old J.R. did to you, huh? Now, you just be nice, and I won't tell.
Let go of her. Let go of her.
Why don't you try and make me? Boy, you just made the biggest mistake of your life. The biggest mistake you'll ever make.
Jimmy. Oh, let me look at that cut.
That's all right, Miss Sally. Leave me alone.
All I did was bathe your face. A girl would do that for anyone.
Yes, anyone.
I didn't mean it the way it sounded.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
Here, I'll put some more water on it.
Sally,
Father!
get into the house.
But, Father...
Did you hear me?
Why, what have I done?
You've disgraced my name, flouting yourself in front of this heathen.
I was just helping Jimmy. Billy Wheeler hit him.
And I thank Billy Wheeler for that.
Father, how can you say that? Jimmy didn't do anything.
You get into the house before I thrash you.
I'm not afraid of you, Father. I haven't done anything wrong. Every time I look at a boy, you see evil.
Shame!
Sally!
You keep away from her.
You shouldn't have done that, Mr. Ridley.
Why?
Oh, Father, no! No! Father, no!
You've killed her.
No.
I told you it was the biggest mistake you ever made. Boy, I sure told you.
I wouldn't be too worried if I was you, Lee Chang, about Jimmy. He'll be around a minute.
The old man Ridley probably gave him a few extra chores to do.
You know, Mr. Ridley, he's tougher than nails.
Oh, Jimmy not mine. He work hard. He do what Mr. Ridley tell him.
What do you think, Hoss?
I don't know. That boy's so danged anxious to make his college money, he done forgot his own birthday party.
Yeah, he's almost an hour late.
Jimmy!
Jimmy! Jimmy, what happened to you?
Hop Shane, get some water and some towels, quick.
What is it, my son?
They were chasing me.
Who was?
I had to fight them off, Hoss. They wanted to kill me.
Well, why? What did you do?
Little Joe, I didn't do anything.
Well, something must have happened.
Sally Ridley is dead. Her father shot her. It was an accident. They think I killed her.
Now, look, Jimmy, I want you to tell me the whole story right from the very beginning.
It was an accident, Joe. I liked Sally. I wouldn't ever hurt her.
We know he's in there. Send him out. Send him out or we're coming in to get him. Somebody'll get hurt.
Just keep calm. Ain't nobody gonna hurt that boy. We'll handle this thing proper. Little Joe, you come cover me. First man that tries to come in this house is gonna have to climb over me.
We're not looking for any fight. We want the boy is all.
Well, you ain't getting him.
He killed somebody. And he's gonna get what's coming to him.
Now, that's a bit hasty, Billy. Suppose we give him a choice. Either we take the boy in jail, or we get a rope. What about it?
You wait here.
Will they take my son?
No, Lee Chang. If anybody does any taking around here, it's gonna be little Joe and me.
But you believe Jimmy?
Look, don't worry, Lee Chang. Sheriff Halstead's a fair and honest man. He'll know the truth when he hears it.
Father, in America, a man is innocent until proven guilty. Isn't that right, Hoss?
That's right, Jimmy. Go on.
Let's go, Hoss.
Hopsing, Adam's gonna stop by for us. Tell him we're down at the jail.
Why'd you let him have him? We could have strung him up.
Billy, Billy, Billy. Don't you remember what Fulmer said? What we do is let it boil. We just let it boil.
Now, you've told me the whole truth. You sure you've left nothing out, son?
I've told it just the way it happened.
Well, I'm inclined to believe him.
How many other folks will is the question.
Well, I believe him. I've known Jimmy and his family a long time. They're good people.
Sure, they're good people, but that doesn't tip the scales. Not with some who have political ambitions.
You mean Andy Fulmer?
Yeah. He's been waiting for this kind of thing to happen ever since he declared for mayor. Come on, boy.
Jimmy, everything's gonna be all right.
This is for your own protection, Jimmy. You'll be better off here than you will at home.
I understand, Sheriff.
See, Jimmy, this doesn't mean that you're guilty. Even an innocent man, if he's suspected of murder, can't be allowed to roam the streets.
I know.
You'll be all right here.
All right, Billy, send him in. How are you, Mr. Ridley?
Andy?
Won't you sit down? All of our sympathies are with you, Mr. Ridley. We all want you to know how deeply we feel for you in this hour of your great loss.
Thank you, Andy.
It's a tragedy, Mr. Ridley. It's a real tragedy. And if we hadn't let the bars down in the first place, a thing like this couldn't ever have happened. Now, you know me, Mr. Ridley. I speak my mind plain. Your daughter went out with lots of American boys, didn't she? Sure she did. Pretty little thing like her. And did any of those American boys ever act any way other than decent with her? Of course not. Would an American boy have shot her down in cold blood?
There's something I think you should know. That boy didn't kill my daughter. It was an accident. I had the gun. The gun went off. That boy didn't kill my daughter, Andy. I did.
Now, you just sit there, Mr. Ridley. You had a very trying day. Jesse, haven't you got some work to do?
Sure. Sure, Andy.
You know, sometimes when a man suffers a great tragedy, it can affect his mind. You understand that, don't you, Mr. Ridley?
Yes, I understand that.
And in his grief, he might forget things or even imagine things that never really happened.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, I'm sorry to say this, old friend, but I see signs of that in you. In your eagerness to do what's right, you're willing to shoulder all the blame for Sally's death.
Well, shouldn't I, Andy?
Now let's face the truth. Didn't that boy, that James Chang, didn't he provoke whatever caused Sally's death?
As the Lord is my judge, that boy caused Sally to die.
Yes, and our city's overrun with these undesirables, and that breeds the sort of thing that happened to you. And every decent citizen in this town wants to see that don't never happen again. Now, ain't that right, Mr. Ridley?
Yes, Andy.
All right, then. Now let you and me sit down and examine what's really right for Virginia City.
You asked me to order members of our town to fight if need be to protect your son.
My son has not killed anyone. He has committed but one crime. He is Chinese.
Is James Chang Chinese? Has he not given up the ways of his ancestors? Has he not taken the dress and the custom of another people?
He is ambitious. He desires to educate himself in this new land. He knows that one day the Chinese will take their place alongside other people who have come from many other places to make this great country.
Young eyes can see great distances, and risk is the privilege of youth. Your son has accepted the new ways, and with this, he has accepted the risk.
He is my son. And they talk in the streets of killing him.
It is written, it is better to sacrifice one lamb than to cause the slaughter of the entire flock.
Some men will fight, even to save a lamb.
Order, order, please. Now, I don't want to have to remind you folks, this is an official inquest, and I expect order. Continue, Mr. Wheeler.
Like I said, I seen this Chinese boy carrying on with Sally Ridley. So naturally, I went and told her father. You know the rest.
Now, Your Honor, aren't we taking an awful lot for granted here?
Now, surely, Your Honor. Ben Cartwright's been around long enough to know the facts when he hears them.
But this is not a trial, Andy. It's an inquest. Is that all, boy?
Well, ain't that enough, Your Honor?
Don't get smart with me, son. Now, you just get down and let's have the next witness. Miss Amanda Ridley. Now, Amanda, just tell us in your own words what happened last night.
Jimmy Chang killed my sister.
Order, order in the court, please. Order, order, please. Amanda, we're not passing judgment here. We're just trying to get the facts.
Well, what did you expect? Everybody in town knows what kind of a girl my sister was. Always flaunting herself, fluffing her hair and mincing around boys.
What's the matter with her? She's jealous of her own sister.
Please, Amanda, I know how hard this must be for you, but all we want to hear is what you saw.
Well, I heard a shot. I ran to the stable. There was Jimmy Chang bending over my sister. There was a gun next to him. My poor father was standing there, just staring.
And the gun was by Jimmy Chang?
It was right by him, right where he dropped it.
Now, Your Honor, how do we know that was Jimmy Chang's gun?
Now,
Who saw him drop it there?
Ben, you're not trying to tell us that gun just fell out of the sky, are you?
Ben Cartwright, I'm not going to put up with any more of your outbursts. All right, Amanda, that's all. Mr. Ridley, will you take the stand? Mr. Ridley, do you feel the testimony you've heard here is substantial of the way it happened?
As the Lord is my witness, that boy caused the death of my daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Ridley. You may step down. Jimmy Chang, stand up. It is the finding of this inquiry that you, Jimmy Chang, stand trial for the murder of Sally Ridley. Inquest adjourned.
I sure don't want to miss that trial.
They'll hang him for sure, won't they, Mr. Fuller?
That's hard to tell. Jury trial, sometimes you just can't depend on a jury. Like I told you boys before, when I take over this town, I want it clean.
Maybe we ought to see to it there ain't no trial, boss.
Jesse, I sure like the way you think. We owe no obligation to this town, boys.
Andy's right. We're all merchants. We all earn our living here. If we let the Chinese take over, our property will be worthless.
I never spoke truer words, Cyrus. That's my way of thinking exactly. And if it wasn't my way of thinking, I wouldn't be running for mayor.
One thing, Andy. I ain't a man to jump into things, you know.
Well, you ain't a man to stand by and watch your own house burn down without tossing on a pail of water either, are you, Cyrus?
Oh.
Now, if we let that Chinaman get away with killing that white girl, It's just the same as saying we don't even care what happens to our own wives and daughters.
Well, what do you think we ought to do, Andy?
I think we ought to put a stop to it right now.
Looks like you're a little off your game today, little Joe.
Sheriff, they're holding a meeting over at Hammond's store. I don't like the looks of it.
Andy Fulmer in the height of his glory. So-called cause and a hot-headed audience to listen to his ranting.
What do you think it'll come to, Pa?
I don't know. But if Fulmer can fire up that crowd enough, they'll sure enough try to break Jimmy out of jail.
Oh, don't you think we can hold him off, Paul?
No, I've got no right to ask you Cartwrights to get mixed up in this thing.
You got no help either, have you?
You want to get rid of me, Sheriff, you're going to have to throw me out. Jimmy Chang's a friend of mine.
Well, Sheriff?
Well, I won't lie and say that I'm not pleased, but... Well, to make this thing legal-like, I'd better swear you all in as deputies.
That's good. Always did want to wear one of them deputy badges anyhow.
Bad? No. Looks like you were right.
I don't think there's any more doubt about it, Sheriff. Look, there's only one way to avoid trouble, and that's by getting that boy out of town fast.
But I can't rightly do that, Ben.
Well, you can't rightly let them come in and lynch him either, can you?
Ben, Jimmy Chang has been indicted for murder. That's my sworn duty to uphold the law, and it's also the sworn duty of you and your sons now.
What are we supposed to do, sit here and wait?
That's the way it is.
Look, Pa, even if we get Jimmy out, we got to get him past those men.
Yeah, I suppose nothing would make Fulmer happier than to kill Jimmy Chang while attempting to break jail.
Now, look, Ray, there's no law that says a deputy can't walk out of here, is there?
No, there isn't. If you boys want to change your mind, I can release you from any obligations.
No, that's not what I meant. I just don't like the idea of sitting around here while Andy Fulmer calls every turn.
What's on your mind, son?
Well, Pa, I can't help thinking about Amanda and the way she behaved on the witness stand. Now, I've known her a long time. I just don't believe she's turned that bitter.
You think you might want to talk to her?
I'd like to try.
Oh, it's worth a chance. Maybe through her you could break down Ridley's story. I don't like the idea of you going out there, though.
No, Horse and I could cover him, Pa.
Oh, that'd be playing right into Fulmer's hands. And there'd be 3 less guns in here for him to worry about.
I'll get through all right, Pa.
Well, I wasn't thinking of you getting through, Adam. I was thinking of you getting back in. You know, don't sell Fulmer short. He's got Ridley on his side, and he's going to do everything in his power to keep him there.
Well, I'm going to risk it.
All right, Adam.
Look at him.
What's the matter, Cartwright? The stink of that woman killer get too thick for you in there?
You get out of my way.
You sure are proddy, Adam. Ain't no law says we can't stand out here in the street.
Yeah, why are you Cartwright so nervous? We ain't doing nothing.
We'll just keep on doing it. May I come in?
I suppose it'd be all right. My father isn't home.
Well, it's really you I wanted to talk to, Amanda.
Would you like to sit down?
Thank you. Well, all of us used to have some mighty good times in this house.
We haven't entertained since Mother died.
7 years. Must get kind of lonely for you sometimes.
I had obligations, and I assumed those obligations.
Have to be at such a high price?
Do you think it's been easy keeping the household together with Mother gone?
No, I don't. I watched my own father do it for years.
Yes, but Sally did everything she could to make things difficult.
Yeah, Pa had his moments with all of us, too.
She had no respect for anything, not for me or for my father.
Look, Amanda, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Life hasn't passed you by.
Why can't you Cartwrights mind your own business and let us mind ours?
Because it happens to be everybody's business when a boy's life's at stake.
You can stand there and say that to me when my sister's been murdered. What do you expect me to do? Go over there to Jimmy Chang and tell him it was all a big mistake?
If that's what it was, yes. Jimmy Chang said he didn't have a gun. He said it was an accident. Now, look, Amanda, I've always admired you because you had the courage to stand up for what you thought was right. Sally was just exactly the way you used to be, no more, no less. You don't need to pretend with me, Amanda.
Oh. Adam, I've been so alone. What should I do?
Tell the truth.
What are you doing in my house, Cartwright? There's no woman safe in this town. How dare you persecute my daughter?
It's not your daughter that's being persecuted. There's a young boy over in that jail that's just about to face a lynch mob.
That boy's a murderer and a heathen. He's been indicted for his crime.
Indicted, but not convicted. Or don't you think Jimmy Chang deserves a fair trial?
James Chang will have a fair trial.
Not unless you tell Andy Fulmer that's what you want him to have.
Oh, Mr. Fulmer's an honorable man. He doesn't need me to tell him what to do.
What's the matter, Mr. Ridley? You afraid to face up to Andy Fulmer and the principles you value so highly?
I fear no man.
Well, then talk to him.
I'll go with you, Father.
What rights he got to stand trial anyway? He ain't even no citizen.
That's right.
We can let those Cartwrights tell us how to run our town. They don't live in Virginia City. And this town is for us that lives here, for us Americans.
That's right.
There are only 3 Cartwrights in there. Adam left. And we'll see to it he don't get back in again. I say rush the jail. Sheriff Halstead will be on our side when he sees we mean business.
What are you up to, Cartwright?
Just out for a walk with some friends of mine. What's the matter, Jesse? You seem nervous.
Mr. Ridley, is Adam trying to force you to do something against your will?
No man forces me against my will. I want to talk with Mr. Fulmer.
You wanted to talk to me, J.R.?
I've got to talk to you about everything. About those people out there.
Why, certainly, J.R. Not a man in this town can't speak to me whenever he wants to. You come right on in. Miss Amanda? Let's step into my private office. We can talk freely there.
Well, I'll wait out here.
Won't you sit down, Amanda? Thank you. J.R.? Now then. What was it you wanted to say to me, J.R.?
I want those people out there to know the truth. I want to tell them what I told you this morning.
And what did you tell me this morning, J.R.?
Why, that Jimmy Chang is innocent. That my daughter's death was an accident.
And what did I say then, Mr. Ridley?
I just don't remember.
Didn't I say that I wanted to help you? Didn't I say that the people of Virginia City were behind you 100%? Did you see all those people out there in that street? Why do you think they're there? They're there because they're your friends, J.R., just as I'm your friend. Because we both believe in the same principles. We believe in honesty and decency and the American way. Now, ain't that right, Mr. Ridley?
Yes, I suppose so.
Father,
Now, you don't suppose. You know. Those people are out there because they're your friends. They're out there to honor you. They're there to honor a man who stood up in his hour of great tragedy, not for his own sake, but for the sake of an entire city. Now, are you going to let them down, J.R.? Are you going to let your daughter die in vain? They're waiting for you out there, J.R.
Well, Mr. Ridley?
I have no right to stand in the way of my friends, the people here in Virginia City.
Like I say, J.R., I like your ideas fine. You talk to me anytime. The door's always open.
What happened in there?
Adam, it was horrible. It's as if my father has no mind of his own.
Well, I'll change his mind.
No, Adam. Let me do it. I can make him understand that he's got to tell the truth.
All right, if you think you can. Remember, Amanda, Jimmy Chang's life depends on your father telling the truth.
I realize that now, Adam.
Come along, Amanda.
Just where do you think you're going, Cartwright?
Now, why don't you leave those folks alone?
Boys, what's going on here?
Cartwright here seemed to be in a hurry. We figured he was planning to pester the Ridleys some more.
Now, you boys put those guns away. Jesse, you know we're not men of violence. You go right ahead, Mr. Cartwright. Just do whatever you like.
I'll do just exactly that, Mr. Pullman.
You sure you don't want me to stop him, boss?
Well, why should you do that, Jesse? Just when we got things right where we want them.
Little Joe, did you ever taste anything like these jailhouse beans?
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm trying not to remember it.
What you mean to say is you don't ever remember tasting anything that's good, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's almost worth breaking a law to get this kind of chow.
Jimmy, you ain't eat a bite of yours. Why don't you try to get some of that down?
Thanks, Hoss, but I'm not hungry.
Hungry? What's that got to do with it? You think the only time a man can eat's when he's hungry?
Yeah, you haven't got any kind of fool idea like that, do you, Jimmy?
I didn't kill Sally. You believe me, don't you, Hoss?
Jimmy, you ought to have more sense than even ask such a question.
But there are some people in this town who think I did. How can they, Hoss?
Jimmy, don't you worry none. You got lots of friends in this town.
Friends that aren't gonna let you down.
Here he comes. Let him in. I really thought they tried to stop you from getting you back in here.
Well, Fulmer's so sure of himself, he figured he didn't have to.
Well, what about Amanda? Did you find out anything from her?
Oh, I sure did. Anyway, I've convinced her she should tell the truth. I thought we had Ridley convinced, and then we got over to Fulmer's, and I don't know. Fulmer's got some strange kind of hold on the man. He's like so much clay in his hands. Anyway, Amanda's still working on him.
What, do you think she'll get anywhere with him?
Well, if she doesn't, we've got a lynch mob on our hands.
Father, how can I make you understand what I'm saying to you?
I'm on the side of right.
Right. You're just doing what Andy Fulmer wants you to do. That boy's gonna die.
Your sister died too, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Until now, I don't believe I really cared. But now I know you don't care.
How dare you speak like that to me?
I dare speak like that because it's the truth.
Your sister brought disgrace on us.
And it isn't really Jimmy Chang you're trying to punish, is it? You're trying to punish Sally. Father, was her death really an accident? Or did you pull that trigger on purpose? Is that why you're afraid to talk?
Amanda, As God is my witness, it was an accident.
Then go out there and tell them. Oh, Father, we've both lied to ourselves. We never really believed the things we said about Sally. And if we let Jimmy Chang die, we'll really be condemning Sally. You and I, Father, we're the guilty ones.
Now, boys, you all know where I stand. I'm just interested in doing what's right for our city.
Are we gonna let those Cartwrights stand between us and what we know's right?
I say let's rush them and get them out of that jail. Come on!
Huh? Here they come.
Let's put a few shots over their heads. That should scatter them.
Ridley. Yeah, looks like she convinced him.
Stop it, everybody! Stop!
Get in here, J.R. Those Cartwrights will kill you.
It isn't the Cartwrights this town needs to fear, Fulmer.
Ah, J.R., we understand each other.
That won't work again, Andy. I'm going to tell Sheriff Halstead the truth.
Now, we've been through this before.
I'm going to tell him the truth.
Get him. Fool. Why did you kill him?
What? What are you saying? You told me to kill him.
Murderer. You filthy murderer. Get him! He just killed my best friend!
Jesse, drop the gun.
Father! Father! My father wanted to tell you something. I know what it was, because I was part of it. We lied on the witness stand this morning. My sister's death was an accident. Jimmy Chang didn't have any gun. My father killed Sally. That's what he wanted to tell you.
Well, Fulmer, 3 dead. You satisfied?
Trying to make a murderer out of me, Ben?
You trying to murder this town. You still want this man for your mayor?
No!
Hold on, wait a minute, folks. Hold it.
This is a terrible thing that's happened here today. And we sure don't want anything like that to happen here again. Folks, listen, you know how I stand, what I believe in. I just want to fight for Virginia City.
I'm afraid you're at liberty, Mr. Chang.
Come on, Jimmy, didn't you hear him? Or don't tell me you done got to where you like it in here.
But what?
But what? I thought you were the one who had the fine ideas about going to college.
Yes, I do, but...
Well, if you're going to go to college, Jimmy, you got to bust out of this jail before you can start. It's all right, Jimmy.
You can go home. It's all over now. Go on.
Oh, little Joe, can't you load no faster than that?
Can I load it any faster? Why don't you try pitching and let me stack for a while?
You must be forgetting. I did the loading this morning, you did the stacking. Now it's your turn to load a while.
No, I ain't forgetting. I'm just complaining.
Now I ask you, do you ever see 2 guys work so hard and accomplish so little?
I'll have to admit they're a bit on the slow side, Adam. But then they're pretty puny. Especially the one on top of the wagon.
Yeah. Well, what are you doing?
Oh, I thought I'd give him a hand.
Well, we're going to make that dance in Virginia City. We don't have much time.
Won't take but a few minutes.
Well, as long as you're such a fool for work, Dave, be my guest. Oh, hey, ain't that shirt you sent all the way to St. Louis for?
Yeah?
It's pretty bad shape now.
Well, I can send for another. Come on, we better get the rest of this hay loaded before your paw skins us alive.
And he can sure do it, too.
Dave Walker. You stand right where you are, Walker. Drop your gun, Bob.
I don't know who you are, mister, but you're gonna go home in a box.
I'm a United States Marshal, and this is my prisoner.
Well, what'd Dave do?
You got the wrong man, mister. Now, hold it. I'll kill the first man that tries to interfere.
Dave didn't have a chance, Pa. Marshall clubbed him before he knew what was happening.
I'll have a look at your credentials, Marshal, if you don't mind. A tin star and a shotgun won't get you up to Ponderosa alive. I said your credentials. United States Marshal Emmett Dowd, Los Angeles, Office of Southwest Territory. And was it necessary to half kill the boy, Marshal?
He had a pitchfork. I don't take any chances.
Dave's the one who didn't have a chance, Marshal.
Marshal, Dave Walker has been working for me for almost a year now. In all that time, I've never known him to commit an act of violence of any sort.
If you have any complaints, you can lodge them with my superiors.
Oh, I'll do that. You can count on it.
In the meantime, you tell your boys to step aside. I'm going to take my prisoner into Virginia City.
On what charge?
Murder. Let's go.
You have to treat him so roughly.
Cartwright, I'll handle my prisoner in my own way.
Now, look, he's not an animal. Treat him with some consideration.
Mr. Cartwright, it's a federal offense, punishable by fine or imprisonment or both, to interfere with the United States Marshal in the execution of his duties. Now, you step aside.
Don't you fellas think you'd better get dressed if you're going to make that dance?
After what happened to Davey, I don't feel much like dancing, Pa.
Me neither, Paul. Paul, do you really believe what that feller had to say about Dave being guilty of murder?
You know, the question of Dave's innocence or guilt still has to be proved at a trial.
Yeah, that is if he gets one. Dowd acted as though he's already been convicted.
Yeah. Ain't there some way we can stop him, Paul?
Boss, he's the United States Marshal. His orders are to take Dave back to Los Angeles to stand trial.
Well, maybe some of Dave's friends got together. We could change all that.
Now, Joe, whatever we think of Dowd as a man, he still represents the law. Must be a better way to help Dave.
We're listening.
Well, we can ride into town tomorrow morning, for one thing. Talk to Dowd. The stage for Southern California doesn't leave till noon.
Yeah, but how can we help him?
I don't know. I do have a lawyer friend in Los Angeles I'd like to telegraph a message to.
Yeah, I'd like to buy old Dave a shirt, too. Replace that when he tore up helping us load the hay.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, Hoss. Well, 3 of us will leave in the morning, then.
3 of who?
Well, Hoss, Adam, and myself.
So what about me?
I think you'd better stay here, Joe. Somebody has to get the rest of the hay in.
That'll keep him busy till spring, Paul.
This country's growing up, Pa. It wasn't always you could send $1,000 flying through the air from here to Los Angeles.
Well, at least it'll provide Dave with the kind of help he'll need.
Paul, I'm getting just about ready to kill a man, Paul.
Oh, what now?
Well, I just took that new shirt over to Dave, and you ought to see what that marshal's done to him.
What about the sheriff? Didn't he try to stop him?
No, he's up at Pyramid Lake or someplace. Ain't nobody over there but that deputy. Dowd just shoved him aside.
We better get over to that jail, see what we can do. Dave. Let me see your face, boy. Dan, how did this happen?
Dowd brought the boy in last night and then demanded a cell. I couldn't refuse to cooperate with the U.S. Marshal, Ben.
He did this to Dave.
Well, I didn't see it happen. Curly had the night duty. He said Dowd came back to check the boy's chains.
Paul, I'm gonna kill him.
No, that wouldn't help matters. Dave, did you give him any provocation?
Do you think he needed any, Mr. Cartwright?
But why? You didn't offer any resistance. Why would he want to do this to you?
Maybe because he's just that kind of man, Mr. Cartwright.
Yeah. I guess that's so.
Dave, Paul's wired $1,000 to a lawyer friend in Los Angeles. Make sure you get a fair trial.
Adam, you think Dowd's gonna let me reach Los Angeles alive?
David, did you commit this murder?
Mr. Cartwright, I don't even know what Dowd is talking about.
All right, Dave. We believe you. Where's the marshal now, Dan?
He's over at the hotel packing his bags. The stage leaves in 20 minutes.
Well, that'll give us enough time. Come on, boys.
Hoss? Thanks for the shirt. Nicest one I ever had.
It's all right, Dave.
Mr. Cartwright, thanks for everything you've done for me, but don't bother trying to talk to Marshal Dowd. It won't do any good.
No.
Good morning. Will you please see that our bags are taken out to the stage?
You talking about the stage of Los Angeles?
Yes, sir. I think that is the name of the little village. You see, my daughter and I are not so familiar with this part of your country.
But we like it very much. It's so very beautiful. Isn't it, Father?
Indeed, my child, it is. And we are looking forward to the rest of our journey.
There's nothing between here and Los Angeles but 500 miles of dry, hot desert.
But your desert is most remarkable. We have never seen anything to match its rugged splendor.
You'd better wait for the next stage. We aren't taking any passengers on this one.
No, we cannot wait. You see, we have made arrangements already at Los Angeles. There will be a sailing vessel waiting for us on which we have reservations.
I said no passengers.
Hello, Marshal.
Hello, Cartwright. You're blocking the door.
Yes, I know. We've just seen what you did to Dave Walker.
He resisted my efforts to shackle him.
Was there any need to chain him to that bed?
Just the need to make sure he didn't escape from that fleabag jail.
What about his face? What'd you hit him with?
Cartwright. Get out of my way.
Mister, if you weren't a United States Marshal...
The point is, I am.
Let him out, Adam.
Excuse me, gentlemen. May I present myself? My name is Dr. Anton Strasser. This is my daughter, Andrea.
Yeah? Well, I'm Ben Cartwright. These are my sons.
Very pleased to meet you, gentlemen. Could you kindly tell me, is there some danger in our taking this particular stage?
Danger? No, there's no danger. It might proved to be a bit unpleasant for you and your daughter.
Unpleasant? How do you mean?
Well, Doctor, you see, they're taking a young man in chains on that stage to Los Angeles.
In chains? But why? Is he a criminal?
No, ma'am, he's not a criminal. But it might be safer if you did take the stage next week.
But, Father, surely he cannot prevent us from taking the stage.
Easy, easy, my child. Sir, I don't understand. This gentleman who carries a gun, is he an officer of the law?
Well, he's an officer of the law, all right, but you must remember, Doctor, we're a young and rough country.
Well, we have seen men like this who carry guns and abuse their power. It happens everywhere, even in my native Vienna.
But, Father, we've got to get on that stage if we're going to make our connections.
We'll see what can be done. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Alles wird in Ordnung sein.
Stand away, mister. He doesn't need any help. On your feet, Walker. I said get up.
Once before, I've seen that kind of law, man.
How do you mean that, Dan?
That Dowd doesn't intend for Dave to get to Los Angeles alive.
Look, Dan, isn't there someone you can send along to look out for the boy?
I'd go myself, but we're 2 men short as it is. We couldn't spare anybody till the sheriff gets back from Pyramid Lake.
You think I ought to go along, Pa?
Adam, this isn't really our affair.
Isn't it? Why'd you wire $1,000 to the lawyer in Los Angeles?
To make sure the boy gets a fair trial.
Well, maybe that's why I want to go along. See that he lasts long enough to get a fair trial.
Paul, maybe you ought to send me along, too.
Charlie, have you any empty seats?
As far as I know, we're not carrying anything but the marshal and his prisoner.
Say, driver. Please take our luggage aboard. My daughter and I will travel with you.
I told you at the hotel. There'll be no other passengers on this trip.
Sir, you have no right to do this. This is a public vehicle.
Tell your father to step out of the way, miss. I don't want to hurt him.
But my father isn't well. And we must make that boat connection.
I'm sorry, miss.
But we haven't any weapons. Surely we can't endanger you and your prisoner.
Marshal? Are you commandeering this stage?
I said there'd be no passengers on this trip.
Well, you know you can't take over a public carrier, Marshal Dowd.
It's for their own safety. I can't be responsible for what might happen on this trip.
Well, you can just not bother yourself about that anymore, mister. Me and my brother here are going to go along with you to make sure nothing peculiar does happen.
That's right, Marshal. If you've any objections, you can telegraph your superiors for instructions.
All right. Hand your guns to the driver.
Hand up your guns, boys. You won't need them for what you have to do.
Lock them up. Yours, too. I'll take the key.
Look at him.
It's all right, Marshal. You just keep your seat. I'd just soon ride up there, Charlie, anyhow.
Okay.
there, Lucy. Shake them hips, Maybell.
Forgetting my manners, Miss Strasser. You and your father met the gentleman with the shotgun, United States Deputy Marshal Emmett Dowd. But as for the prisoner, well, I am not certain whether or not the law permits us to recognize him. Perhaps you could advise us, Marshal.
We have a long journey, Mr. Cartwright. Let's not make it more difficult than is necessary.
Well, looking at your prisoner, I would say you're making it a lot more difficult than is necessary.
Since you're so well armed, Marshal, why is it necessary that your prisoner remain chained?
Does it disturb you to see a murderer in chains?
I don't go to see any man in chains.
Particularly an innocent one.
Walker's guilt will be established when we reach Los Angeles.
Adam. There's no sense in your getting redneck because of me. I'm finished.
You can't say that. If you're innocent, you can't even think it.
Well, please.
You mustn't submit to what he stands for.
These chains don't encourage a man to fight back, miss.
Yeah, baby.
Charlie, I sure am going to be happy to get my britches off of this torture rack.
Well, we'll be stopping one of the horse in another mile or so. Get up there, Lucy. Howdy.
Howdy.
10 minutes, folks. You can get out and stretch if you don't mind the snakes.
Well, sure, I'm glad you folks came by.
What's wrong, mister?
Oh, my horse lost a shoe ways back.
That's bad luck. Where are you headed?
West?
Which shoe is it?
Oh, it's that left front foot.
Yeah, it ain't no shoe, mister. You ain't going very far from that old pony. He's got a bad stone bruise.
Well, maybe you got room for an extra passenger. I got the fare.
Hold it.
What's your name, mister?
Cutler? Herd Cutler.
Where you from?
Up north?
I asked you a question, mister. Answer it.
Well, that's a good enough answer. Up north. Ranch near the Truckee River. I'm headed for Los Angeles.
All the way across the desert with that one canteen?
Well, I figured I'd get me another one at the next stage station. Marshal? Well, how about it, driver? You got room for me topside?
Yeah, I guess so.
We can't just leave him stranded out here. It's better than a week till another stage comes by.
Didn't I see you in Virginia City?
Oh, I don't reckon so, Marshal. Nearest I ever got to a silver mine was Laredo. The land jobber sold me and my partner a salted claim.
Did you get back at him?
No, hanging party got to him first. Well, how about it, Marshal? Be grateful to you if you let me ride to the next stage station. I can have my horse shot and be on my way.
I'll let the driver keep your gun.
The marshal's taking all our guns. He's afraid one of us might lose his head.
state of California.
That godforsaken desert's California?
You ain't never been to California before?
Yeah, I've been to California. I've been to San Francisco lots of times, Charlie, but it sure didn't look nothing like that.
Well, this is Southern California. Stationed right beyond those hills there.
Southern California, huh?
Yep.
I can tell you one thing, Charlie. It sure ain't gonna ever amount to much.
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi.
You're about a half hour late. You run into trouble along the way?
Nope, not on the way, Michael, you old highbinder. I brung it with me. Just so's you wouldn't be losing out on your share of the misery.
Only 6 for supper, Charlie?
Only 6 and 1 in change. But I don't reckon he'll be having much of an appetite. He's on his way to be hanged.
Do tell. Well, a young one, huh? I bet you some gal's gonna be crying her eyes out. Maybe more than one gal, eh, Sonny?
I'd like to think so, old-timer.
What are they gonna hang you for, horse thieving or card sharping?
For twisting the arm off a nosy old desert rat.
Oh, say, I like this boy, Marshal. Yes, sirree. Say, are you plumb set on hanging him?
I suppose you're the station master.
Yeah, me, that's me, Micah Bailey. Now, the gents will bed down in the dining room, and the ladies in the parlor.
Don't you have any private accommodations?
What's he talking about?
Well, I reckon what he means, Mike, is that he wants a private room.
Well, I'll tell you, mister, the only thing private out here is the hole that the man gets buried in. And even that's liable to be stolen out from under him by thieving Apaches. Breakfast at daybreak, supper at sundown. If you're late, you don't eat.
Everybody hold it just a minute. Old man, do these doors lock?
Yep.
I'll give these back to you before we leave in the morning. Dr. Strasser, you and your daughter will occupy this room tonight.
Thank you, Marshal.
Hey, Bub, you just wait a minute. That's the station master's quarters.
Quite right. You and your brother, Cutler, and the driver will occupy the parlor. My prisoner and I'll take the dining room.
Well, ain't you forgetting about me?
Sleep in the kitchen.
He's being thoughtful again, as usual, Micah.
Ain't you leaning kind of heavy on that tin star, Marshal? Now, you listen to me. I'm station master here. Me, Micah Bailey. I'll say who goes where.
Mr. Bailey, it is a federal offense, punishable by fine or imprisonment or both, to interfere with the United States Marshal in the execution of his duties.
It means he's taking charge, Micah, whether we like it or not.
Oh, put that strong box over by the stove. Mr. Bailey, how many firearms do you have at this station?
Half a dozen rifles locked up in the liquor stores. And this.
Are the keys on here?
Yeah.
Well, until I leave, I will take charge of all firearms.
Mister, this is Apache country. I wouldn't let loose of my shooting iron for any man. Especially a blowed-up tin star.
Bailey! That's an order, old man.
Can he do this to me?
Oh, dadgummit, Mike, I reckon he thinks he can. You better go ahead and do like he tells you. For the time being, anyhow. Well, that ought to get you across the desert, Cutler, but I'd sure be careful of that stone bruise if I was you.
Well, thanks a lot, Horace.
You fellas want supper, you better rustle your shanks. I'm just dishing up beans and side meat.
That sounds mighty lavering to me, Micah. Come on, Adam, let's go.
What kind of beans? Wild beans. I picked them myself.
Mesquite beans. Yeah, little Joe warned me if I went on a trip with you, I'd be eating cow fodder.
You talk like I rode ahead and ordered them.
Well, if you didn't, how come they're on the menu first night out?
You don't come to think of it, it does sound a little strange, don't it?
Oh, I don't think so. It's sort of like bees and honey. You and cow food just seem to go together.
Yeah.
Here's some more coffee, folks. Yeah.
You haven't touched your food.
First time I ever remember my appetite deserting me, miss.
I can hardly blame you. I wouldn't feel much like eating either.
Andrea, please.
But you must eat. We still have a long journey, haven't we?
Yes, miss. A very long and rough one.
You must eat. It will give you strength.
I'll get by, miss.
When we get to Los Angeles, perhaps my father and I can notify your family.
Well, that's thoughtful of you, miss, but there's no one to notify. My ma died when I was no bigger than a pollywog. Never knew my pa. Ma said he was a man with restless feet. I think she loved him more than he was worth.
And you took after your father?
No, miss. I always tried to stay put for as long as I was allowed. Looks now like I'll get my wish. I'll be settling someplace for good.
Well, look, Dave, you're not convicted yet.
You're going to be back on the Ponderosa in no time, don't you worry.
A lot can happen between now and the time I get tried.
Lady, you'll forgive me. I think I'll finish my cigar in the other room.
If the rest of you are through with your meals, I'd be obliged if you'd all go to your rooms.
Is that a request, Marshal?
No, Miss Strasser, that is not a request. Good night.
Andrea, please. Nothing to be gained by arguing with authority.
But, Father...
Come along, child. We have a long journey tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, Dave. I'll be all right, Adam. Don't lose no sleep over me.
Night, Dave.
You afraid I'll sneak out in this harness, Marshal? Or that one of them will jump you while you're asleep? Adam Cartwright, for instance, or the station master? How long has it been since you slept, Marshal?
Almost a year.
Has it really been that long? I can't imagine what keeps you going. I'm not much at carrying a tune, Marshal, but I can tell you what that song's about. It's about a girl named Corey and the way she died.
You shut your filthy mouth, you hear me? You shut your filthy mouth.
asleep with you rolling and tossing.
Well, Dad Bryant, I can't help it. This confounded couch is plumb alive. Every time I get in another position, it sprouts another hair. Look at that. Cutler's gone.
I didn't hear him get up.
Neither did I.
Cutler, come on out.
You murdered him.
He tried to kill me. He was Walker's accomplice. We knew he was hiding out near Virginia City.
Well, I wouldn't count on catching that boat, Dr. Strasser.
Why?
We lost the horses. Well, my brother and the others are trying to find him. How's he?
His collarbone is shattered, several ribs broken, and he may have serious internal injuries.
You just had to kill somebody, didn't you?
He was trying to help Walker escape. I had my eye on him ever since I spotted him in Virginia City.
I never knew suspicion could rot a man's mind. You really believe that, huh?
All right, have it your way. I killed Cutler in cold blood. Are you satisfied?
You want to kill yourself? Lay back.
All we ever asked of you was to have a little compassion for the prisoner.
Compassion? You mean feel sorry for him?
Well, now, is there anything wrong with that?
He's used this trick before. On Cora.
Cora?
My wife. I killed her with that shotgun.
Well, now, what's that got to do with Walker?
Because he worked his ways on her, too. Before I could get him back to Los Angeles for the murder of a paymaster, she tried to release him. And he deliberately pushed her in my line of fire to save his own rotten skin.
Now we know the reason for the chains and the beatings.
If you believe it, Doctor. It's not going to work, Dodd. You go from brutality to sentiment, and I don't buy it.
Cartwright. Take that.
Well, what's that for?
I'm deputizing you. You take Walker back to Los Angeles.
You mean you want me to take your place?
That's what I mean.
But you can't deputize somebody like this.
Can I? The United States Marshal has the authority to deputize any citizen.
And if I refuse?
You can't refuse. It's your duty to take that badge. And you are bound by law to accept and carry out any reasonable commission.
Well, how's Mr. Dodd? I hear he almost got run over by some horses.
He was trampled, almost killed.
Oh, now ain't that too bad? And to such a nice fella, too.
Dave, you have anything to do with it?
You hear that, miss? Adam, you don't mean that, do you?
Look, I'm asking if you had anything to do with the attempt to kill Dowd.
Why, Adam? Why are you asking me that?
Because he gave me this, his badge of office.
We'll give it back to him. It's his, not yours.
I can't do it. It's mine now. He deputized me to act in his place.
He did what?
Dave, I'm a deputy United States Marshal now.
Sure, and I'm Billy the Kid or Jackass Sam. Look at him. I'm the same man I was an hour ago. I'm Dave Walker. I'm your friend.
I know that, Dave.
Well, for a minute there, you had me worried. You started to sound almost like the Marshal himself. This badge is mine. I can't give it back. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Well, now that's settled, Adam. Well, what about these shackles?
Well, what about him?
Well, I want them off. Like you said, Adam, I'm not an animal. Why should I be chained like one? You did say that, didn't you, Adam?
Yes, I said it.
Well, then take them off. I don't like the idea any better than you do.
I think the Marshal would rather they stayed on.
The Marshal? Who cares about the Marshal? You've seen for yourself what kind of man he is.
Well, I found one of them.
Where are the others?
Which others you talking about, horses or men?
I mean Mike and Charlie.
Hey, what's the matter with you in here?
Nothing's the matter with me. Now, where's Mike and Charlie?
Well, if I know Micah, he's probably fallen in the chug hole someplace. Don't worry, Adam. I'll find him.
You heard him, miss?
Yes, I heard him.
I thought he was my friend.
Oh, I think he is your friend.
Oh. Then why doesn't he do something about these shackles? It's up to him now, nobody else.
Perhaps he'll do it in the morning. Perhaps all he wants is wait until morning.
Why? Why would he want to wait until morning?
Oh, I don't know, David. I don't know.
You know something? You called me David.
Yes, I'm dreadfully sorry. I didn't mean...
Why not? It's my name, isn't it?
Yes, it's your name.
Sure it is. David. I like the way you say it. Say it again.
What?
My name. Go on, say it again.
David?
Yeah, David. Only you say it better. You say it better than I've ever heard it before in my life. You're not going anyplace. Sit down. Andrea. That's your name, isn't it?
Yes?
Andrea Strasser.
It isn't true what the marshal said, is it?
Of course not. You don't believe that, do you?
No, I don't believe that.
I'm innocent, Andrea. I swear I'm innocent.
I know. I know that.
Andrea?
Yes, David.
These chains. I can't stand to be in them any longer.
I know, but you'll have to wait until morning.
No. No, we don't have to wait until morning.
What can we do?
The marshal, he's got the keys. You can get them, and he won't be able to stop you.
But what about Mr. Cartwright?
Well, you heard him. He's pinned on that star. He's just like the marshal now.
Oh, I don't believe that.
All right, I should have known better. I guess a back fence stray like me doesn't have the right to ask people for help.
I'll help you, David. I'll do anything you ask.
You know, I was right. The way you say, David, I've never heard a sound as beautiful as that in all my life.
How is he, Father?
He's asleep now. Fortunately, I had some pills in my case. Poor man, he must be in terrible pain.
Strange, isn't it, how one can feel sorry even for a man like him?
We are in a strange land, my child. Yet it isn't so strange. A man is a man, and unfortunately a doctor is also a doctor. And so he helps, whether he wants to or not.
Yes, Father, and so he helps.
Let's go back to bed.
How about the marshal?
Him? He won't move an eyelid until morning.
Then you go to bed, Father.
How about you?
I'm not very sleepy. I'll be in soon.
Good night, my child.
Good night, Father.
You got them?
Yes.
Here. That's it. Out here. That's right. Give me. Andrea, I'll never be able to thank you enough.
David, you're free.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm free until the next time I run into Marshal Dowd.
David, what are you going to do?
I'm going to give the Marshal a taste of his own medicine.
Oh, no, David. No, you mustn't.
Mustn't I? I killed his wife, didn't I? You think you'll ever be able to forget that?
No.
Hold it right there, Dave.
You shoot me, Cartwright, you'll have to kill her first.
Is that the way it happened to the marshal's wife? No, I'm not going to shoot you, Dave.
That's right, I forgot. The Marshal put all the guns in the strong box. You don't have anything, Cartwright.
You're wrong, Davy.
You still don't have nothing.
Out of the way, Cartwright.
Cartwright, that's enough. Hit him once more and I'll kill you.
What, you worried about him?
Yeah. He's got a trial to go to.
If we hadn't been along, you'd have killed him long before he ever got there.
Maybe. For almost a year now, I've lived for nothing else. But you just made me realize what I was turning into.
Get in.
Reckon you're going to be mighty happy to get aboard that ship, aren't you, ma'am?
I'm not certain I will, Horse.
After what you've been through?
You Americans have a way of making things happen so quickly. In Europe, it sometimes takes a generation to put things right.
Well, ma'am, I reckon you could sort of chalk it up to our weather.
Weather?
Yes'm. You see, we got so dang much weather out here and so burn much land we got to whip that, well, we just ain't got time to be putting things straight with each other.
You're a born philosopher, Horse.
Me? What's she mean by that?
She means that if you was any smarter, you'd still be the second dumbest man in creation. And you're looking at the first.
It's a toss-up. Let's get going.
Charlie, get him out of my station before anything else happens.
Hey, now, why don't you look where you're going?
Sorry, I didn't see you.
You don't sound half sorry to me.
Look, I said I was sorry. Why don't we leave it at that?
If you don't mind, we'll call the shots. Now, suppose you use the other side of the street. Joe! Joe, come here! Your daddy's calling you, little boy.
Right, I'll take you one at a time.
Joe!
What's the matter, Joe? Did you hear me calling you?
You see what they were trying to do?
Yes, I saw what they were trying to do. I also saw the half-dozen men across the street ready to back them up.
Yeah, well, I don't care how many there are. Look, what's got into this town? You can't walk down the street anymore. We're just going to stand by and let them get away with it.
Now, look, do you think that walking into a trap they deliberately set for you and getting your head broken is going to stop them? Now, get along to Mr. Cameron's store and help Hoss load the supplies. I'll round up Adam and join you.
Hi, Cameron, what's your answer?
You know my answer. I won't back down for you or Sam Bryant or any of the gang.
Well, now, that's just plumb too bad.
No.
killed him.
Now, whatever make you say a thing like that?
Sure.
Hey, Sheriff, what kind of town you running here? Gonna stand there and let that fella hold a gun on me?
Sheriff, he killed my husband.
Well, Miss Cameron, you don't mean that.
You killed him.
Miss Cameron, that's a terrible thing to say. Why, I got some friends that'd be downright upset to hear you say a thing like that.
We know who your friends are. Why don't you leave her alone?
Here, let me handle this. Come on. I don't know what make her say a terrible thing like that.
You killed him, Perkins, and you know it.
I'll take care of this, Cartwright. All right, Perkins, let's go. I'm locking you up.
All right, Sheriff. If that's what you think you ought to do. Nice, neat place you got here, Sheriff. Real nice. Yes, sir, you keep it up real nice.
You know the way, Perkins.
Anything you say, Sheriff. Anything you say.
I'm there, Perkins.
Waste of time you locking me in here. You know that, don't you? But if that's the way you want to do business.
Howdy, Sheriff. They tell me you got one of my boys in here. How much is bail going to run?
Circuit judge is in town, Brian. I ain't setting no bail. That's a judge's job.
Well, I suppose the judge has got to earn his money, too.
That you, Sam?
Sure is, Farmer. They treating you good?
Just fine, Sam. Just fine as can be.
They don't treat you right. You just let your old friend Sam Bryant know, you hear?
Don't tell me to let Perkins go already.
No, they ain't. But it might be a real good idea. Not this time, Bryant. Judge Scribner's in town. He says he'll hold a hearing on Farmer Perkins down at Town Hall just as soon as he can get there. You know something? I sure hate to see outsiders like the judge get mixed up in our private affairs. I think outsiders ought to tend their own business. And that goes for you Cartwrights, too. See you later, Sheriff. Jen. You want to see Farmer Perkins get a fair hearing now, don't you? All right, now sit down, everybody. Go right ahead, Your Honor.
Are the witnesses present?
Two of them are right here, Your Honor. Your Honor, before you start, I think you should know these two didn't say a thing.
Are you acting as lawyer for Mr. Perkins?
Well, Your Honor, I'm acting like just what I am. Farmer Perkins' friend.
I'll not have any more of these outbursts. All right, Mrs. Cameron. Is Mrs. Cameron present in the court?
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, Doctor?
Mrs. Cameron is in no condition to testify at the present time.
Yes, but she was an eyewitness to the alleged crime.
Do you measure emotions by the clock, Your Honor? This woman just saw her husband shot down in cold blood.
Doctor, you'll please resist passing judgment. I ask you if Mrs. Cameron is present in this court.
No, she is not. She's in my office, a very sick woman.
May I ask the nature of her illness?
You certainly may. It's the same sickness that afflicts this entire town. Fear.
Can we now hear from the other witnesses?
Well, sure, we're all witnesses, everyone here.
Order. Your Honor. These here are my character witnesses. Best money can buy.
I'll not have a travesty made of my court.
I'll testify, Your Honor. My brother and I were outside of Cameron's store when we heard the shot. We ran in and found Farmer Perkins. Mr. Cameron was on the floor dead and his wife was standing over him.
That's exactly the way it happened.
But you did not see the actual shooting.
No, Your Honor, we did not.
All right, Mr. Perkins.
Well, now, Your Honor, my good friends here, the Cartwright boys, they've already said all I know. It's the same thing with me, exactly. I heard a shot. I ran in, and that was poor Mr. Cameron. And that right pretty wife of his. Don't suppose she shot him, do you?
Hey, that's right there, Farmer. She must have done it.
Are there any other eyewitnesses to the alleged shooting? I mean, other than Mrs. Cameron.
Judge, you know as well as I do what kind of man Farmer Perkins is.
At this moment, Mr. Perkins's character is not on trial. Due to the failure of our only eyewitness to appear, I must adjourn this hearing. I said adjourn it. Only until Mrs. Cameron is available to testify. Meanwhile, the suspect is to remain in the custody of the sheriff.
Hey, now what's he talking
about? Just a minute. He's subject to bail, isn't he? I mean, he hasn't been charged with anything yet.
I've already drawn up the paper, Your Honor.
Hey, what was he talking about? Come on, give him a drink.
All right, Ben. You saw it. All legal, right down the line. I could have told you it'd happen.
Well, I just don't know what's gotten into the people of this town. They're just going to stand by and watch them get away with a cold-blooded murder, because that's all it is, a cold-blooded murder.
Oh, I'm not sure the people of this town care one way or the other.
Now, what you're saying is that this case is closed. Is that it?
Well, you saw what happened. I arrested Perkins, I had a hearing, and he's out there walking around.
Look, Sheriff, if you want to do something, why don't you start by arresting Sam Bryant? He's the head man.
On what charge, son? Associating with bad company? Keeping order in the mines? That's what he was hired for. That's what him and his men do.
No, it's gone a lot further than that, Sheriff. They've taken over the whole town.
So they have.
Well, you could have stopped it before it went that far.
By myself, with no deputies, not a soul to back me up. What is it you expect me to do?
Well, I don't know what to expect of you, but I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get Beth Cameron to testify. And if she does, the judge is going to reopen the hearing and set a trial immediately. And if that's done, will you rearrest Farmer Perkins?
I'm a practical man, Ben. And a sociable one. I don't like taking chances on my life. But if I'm going to, I want company. Now, I got the right to swear in deputies. And deputies is what I want before I go after Farmer Perkins again. Now, you made the complaint, Ben. Now, I've offered the same chance to half the people in this town.
I know Beth Cameron will testify. There was a hearing a while ago. You were needed at that hearing. You weren't there.
What do you want me to do? Isn't one killing enough? My husband's dead, isn't he? My husband tried to stand up to Sam Bryant, and they killed him. And if I try to stand up to them, they'll kill me. Is that what you want?
No, of course not. And it won't happen. Suppose my sons and I promise to protect you. Would you testify then?
Can you promise to protect all of Virginia City? And the judge? Can you promise to keep Perkins in jail, that he won't go free or break out and come after us?
All right, Mrs. Cameron. Let's just say that your husband died for nothing.
Ben, wait. Please, help me.
Now, Judge Scribner will be in town for a few more hours only. He says he'll hold a trial if he can have witnesses.
Will you come for me, Ben?
You can depend on that, Mrs. Cameron.
You're so smart, you do it. Come on. Come on, you take it. Come on, big strong man. Come on, wait, come on. Okay, go. Come on there. Come on there, Jim. Come on, man. Come on there, take him. Come on, go get him. Go get him. Put him down there. That's it, Jim. You got him. You got him. That's it, boy.
I ain't never lost yet. Well, you just run out of luck.
Oh, boy. Go on, Farmer, you can take him.
Come on, Sean.
Come on now.
Come on, go get him.
Come on, Farmer.
Come on, Farmer. Come on, take him. Take him there. Come on.
All right, boys, leave them right where they are.
Now, you wouldn't want to spoil all the fun, would you, boys? The trial's going to resume at 1 o'clock.
Trial? Again? That judge sure is a glutton for punishment, ain't he, boys?
Yeah, wait. What trial are you talking about? That trial's
It's
over.
all right, boys. Don't get excited. We're going to have a repeat performance. Come on down to the courthouse with me.
Yeah, don't worry.
Don't worry, Farmer. We're all with you.
boy. We're with you, Farmer.
Take care now.
Will you answer the question, please, Mrs. Cameron?
Farmer Perkins threatened to wreck our store unless my husband paid him for what he called protection. My husband said he'd never back down. Farmer Perkins threw his gun and shot my husband.
Thank you, Mrs. Cameron. The defendant will please rise. Since you waive trial by jury, it becomes my sworn duty to pass sentence on you. I hereby find you guilty of murder as charged. Mr. Perkins, I sentence you to hang by the neck until dead. The execution is to take place in the yard of the town jail tomorrow at dawn. This case is closed.
You hold the top cars, temporarily. Not for long. I promise you, Cartwright, you'll never live to see the day that Farmer Perkins hangs.
I've never seen a jail cell before.
Well, this isn't a cell, Mrs. Cameron. This is a sheriff's room.
Do I have to spend the night here?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, ma'am. See, we haven't got enough men to watch your house, and Pa thought you'd be a lot safer in protective custody.
What are they doing?
Can't have a hanging without a gallows, ma'am.
Killings and beatings and now a hanging. Won't we ever have a decent town to live in?
That's what we're trying to get, Mrs. Cameron. You have to believe that.
Well, Judge, all I can say is that the example you set us today was a very necessary one. And I can assure you that by the time you get back here next month, things will be a lot more peaceful around here.
Well, thank you very much, Ben. Please don't wait around. The stage will be leaving in a few minutes.
Oh.
Your boys will be needing you at the jail.
As a matter of fact, Judge, those boys can get along without me very well. Although I wouldn't want them to know that. But we are a bit short-handed. Good night, sir.
Good night, Ben, and good luck.
Yeah. Over there.
Tie his hands. Keep an eye on him. Norton, take a couple of the boys and circulate around out there. Let me know if you hear anything.
Right, Sam.
That's all, boys. Game's over. Got some writing to do.
Sure that gallows is going to be ready on time?
What time is dawn?
5 o'clock, a little before 5. But I've got the hanging set for 5 o'clock sharp.
We won't keep the farmer waiting. What is it, Sheriff? What's the matter?
Hey, sir, where's your hurry? You running for re-election?
Where's your dad? What's keeping him? He ought to have been here a half hour ago.
I know. I'm getting worried about him.
The judge has probably trapped him into some long-winded discussion of the law or something.
No, not tonight.
I just wanted to make sure this was no crazy man's idea of a joke. Read that.
Hang Farmer Perkins and we hang Ben Cartwright. Set Farmer Perkins free, give him a horse and a half-hour head start, and we'll send Cartwright back to you.
Shut up, Perkins. You'll still hang. Or Willie. I don't want to rub it in, but you boys got us into this. Now, if you've got any suggestions for getting us out...
Have you?
Just this. Before you three go off half-cocked, let me give you a little advice. There's only one sensible way to get out of this mess.
What's that?
Let Farmer Perkins go.
We don't see it your way, Sheriff.
No, we don't.
All right. You boys think you're a match for old Sam Bryant? One of the toughest, smartest gunmen that ever shot up a mining camp? Him and his men outnumber us 5 to 1. He's got this whole town in his grip. They're so scared of him.
Has he got you scared too, Sheriff?
I got just one life, Joe. It's against my principles to bet it wildly. And if you boys want to play games with your father's life as the prize, you got the authority. Now, let's see if you can come up with a practical plan.
We got 6 hours. We ought to be able to come up with something.
Like what?
Like a search. Search every house till we find Pa.
How do you know he's in town? Maybe they've got him hid in a mine or someplace. Besides, we got neither the time or the men for a search.
Sheriff, let me ask you something. What would happen if we went right ahead with the preparation for the hanging just like nothing happened? Then they never would know whether we got that message or not.
Could just send another messenger.
That's right. And we'd be waiting for him.
And we'd jump him.
No. We'd follow him. We'd follow him right to where they're holding our paw.
Now, that's the first good suggestion I've heard tonight. Adam, you stay here. I'll take the boys, stake them out so we can keep an eye on anybody that might come around. Let's go. Howdy, Doc.
There's some of us you can count on, Sheriff. We're spotted around watching the jail in case Sam Bryant and his men try to rush it.
Well, that's not Sam Bryant's way of thinking. But I'm much obliged to you anyway, Doc.
All right.
Hey, Doc.
Yes?
We're expecting a caller. Don't stop him. Just keep out of sight.
We'll do that.
Thank you. House, over there by those stairs. Joe, get back here in the alley.
Right.
Keep your eyes sharp.
Go.
I'm still the sheriff here.
We sure needed that one alive.
Yeah, there was nothing I could do. Not if I wanted to stay alive myself. See what we can do for the sheriff.
Joey's hit pretty bad. You go get the doc and I'll get him over to his house.
Right.
What's happened? What was that shooting going on out there?
How should I know? Can't see a thing from here.
It was Allen. They shot him down. He got the sheriff.
How far away? They didn't see you come here.
No, they didn't see me. Sam, why don't we give it up? They got guns guarding that jail.
I'm giving up nothing. I'm getting Farmer Perkins out of that jail. And I'll still be running this town.
I like the way you talk, Sam. I'm with you. You can count on me.
Good boy.
Sleep.
Sure hope the sheriff makes it.
Doctor's doing everything he can for him, Adam. Besides, it's our Paul we ought to be worried about.
Well, we already tried one scheme, and all we did was kill the messenger that might have led us back to him.
You talk like we might as well give up. What are you figuring on doing? Just sitting there?
Well, now, if you've got any ideas, I'd like to hear them.
Well, I'm with Hoss. We got to do something.
Well, just exactly what?
Well, we could at least go around to the saloons and see if we couldn't pick up something.
Look, Sam Bryant's got his spies all over the place. You'll only pick up what he wants you to pick up.
You sure think he's smart, don't you?
Yes, I do, because he is. I'm beginning to feel the key lies in Bryant's mind.
What do you mean?
A couple hours ago, when the sheriff was all set to let Farmer Perkins go, you were both against it. Now, do you still hold to that?
Well, Adam, that was a couple hours ago. We still thought we could find Paul by dawn.
And now you're not so sure.
Well, you're not making it any easier the way you're going about it.
Look, all I asked was if you're still intent on hanging Farmer Perkins.
I don't know. I don't want to stand here and play question and answer games. They got my father out there and they threatened to kill him. Maybe you forgot that, brother, but I haven't.
Joe, I feel the same way about it you do. I done told you that. But Paul sure wouldn't want us all fighting among ourselves.
Right, then let him start making sense.
Well, if you give me a chance, maybe I will. Now, look at it this way. What would Bryant do if, say, come dawn, we simply went ahead and hung Farmer Perkins?
Regardless of what Sam Bryant said he'd do to our pa.
Regardless.
Now, what would you do if you were wrong, Adam? Would you go out to my father's grave and say, I'm sorry, Pa, I made a big mistake?
Joe, he's my father, too.
Adam, I sure hope you're right in your thinking. Because I don't like the sound of it any more than Joe does.
Look, if we let Farmer Perkins go, then Sam Bryant has proved that you can get away with murder in this town. And he'll have no qualms about going ahead and hanging Pa anyway.
You still haven't told me how we're going to get Pa away from him.
On the other hand, we go ahead and hang Farmer Perkins, and we show that we punish murderers. And Sam Bryant will see that his only chance is to let Pa go.
Oh, come on, Adam. First you stand there and tell me how smart you think Sam Bryant is, then you say he's going to back down. He's never been afraid of the law in this town.
No, but he's never been charged with murder either. And once Sam Bryant knows that he's facing a murder charge, I figure he'll be smart enough to back down. And that's why we got to go ahead and hang Farmer Perkins.
I'm sorry, Adam. I can't go along with it. It's too big a gamble.
Adam, you go right ahead thinking like that if you want to. But you're going to have to do it alone. We're going to go find Pa. Come on, Joe.
Try it one more time. Only shorten the rope a bit. That farmer's a tall one. Don't want his feet to touch bottom.
Old Comstock staying up for the hanging.
Yeah, there's no lack of people. Not one single lead on Pa.
Come on, little Joe. We still got lots of looking to do.
What you looking at?
I just wanted to see exactly what kind of a life I'm putting in the balance with my father's.
Before you let me go, huh?
What makes you think I'll let you go?
You don't worry me none. Brown will get me out of here. He's smart. And besides, what kind of son would swap his own pa's life for mine?
You got 90 minutes left. You want to talk to a preacher? What's so funny?
I killed a preacher once. Back in Kansas, I think it was.
What for?
For preaching at me.
Want you to write a note. To whom? To your sons. Tell them I'm running out of patience. Right off. Tell them to let Farmer Perkins go. In 1 hour, their father will be wearing a new necktie. I raised my sons to make their own decisions.
Time's run out for looking anymore.
Yeah, they've got him out there somewhere.
Yeah, if we just knew where.
But even if we knew, 3 of us against 10 or more of them.
It's a risk I'd be willing to take, Adam, for what we got at stake.
All right, so would I. But in a wild gunfight, who'd be sure and get killed? One of Bryant's men would take it out on Pa first.
Come on in here.
Where you going?
Guild Saloon. I'm going to announce exactly where I stand so it'll be sure and get back to Bryant.
Well, if you can convince that bunch over there, you can convince me.
Well, just remember, a lot of Bryant's men will be there to stir the mob up against me. Lock the door after us.
You better hurry back. The hanging's at 5.
Bring Cartwright over here. Sorry we couldn't build you a fancy gallows like the town. We'll just have to make do. Get up on the table.
Ain't you gonna wait to see if they hang the farmer?
Sure. Just want to see if the noose is high enough. What's the matter with you, Norton? Something bothering you?
No, nothing.
I'll hang him. I like doing it. Whether they hang my friend Farmer Perkins or not, I'll enjoy it.
Perfect fit. Cartwright, you never looked so good to me. Get out.
Now, I want Sam Bryant and all of you to understand the following. From now on, all murders will be hanged in Virginia City. And the first hanging to take place will be that of Farmer Perkins this morning at 5 a.m. as scheduled. And any future murderers will also be hanged. And if Sam Bryant wants to escape hanging, he'll let my father go.
I know Bryant, kid, better than you do. He don't fool around. You're signing your pa's own death warrant. It's that badge, that stinking badge is going on his head.
Is it the badge? Is it the law, the principle?
It's only part of it. Well, that's the way Pa would think.
And it's all a matter of your thinking that you know Bryant's mind. That you can outbluff him in this little poker game you're playing.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to that.
But Adam, it's Paul's life you're gambling with. What if you lose?
Don't you think I thought of that?
Cartwright, your son Adam's now acting sheriff. Says he's going to go ahead and hang Farmer Perkins regardless. And then leaving it up to me whether or not you swing.
Good. Good for him.
He's bluffing.
You think so? You know how stubborn we Cartwrights can be, if we want to be.
Yeah, stubborn, but not stupid. Still time to write him a note. Bring him to his senses.
Why? He's doing exactly what I'd do.
And hang.
Then you'll hang. Because that'd be the last straw this town would need to bring it to its senses. Tell me, Bryant, how do you think it'll feel to hang?
In about 30 minutes, you're going to find out, Cartwright. Remember, that's my rope over there. 30 minutes.
I'm getting out of here, Sam.
Norton! You make another move toward that door, I'll kill you.
No, you won't, Sam. You ain't got the guts to do your own killing. And don't you do it for him, McNeil. One shot, and that'll bring a crowd running in here. And you'll be the one that's gonna hang for killing me, not him.
No, I stick by Sam and he sticks by me. He's sticking by the farmer, ain't he? Well, he ain't gonna let the farmer hang, is he?
I don't know, McNeil. Why don't you wait and see? And when you find out, you come and let me know. I'll be around.
Where's Hoss and little Joe?
They're outside watching things.
Adam, I know what it's like to lose someone. Do you? And to know that you're the cause of it? Adam, Ben Cartwright's worth 10,000, Farmer Perkins. There's still time. Let Perkins go.
Come on, get up. Put the noose around his neck.
All right, get down.
Come here, I want to show you something. Get on down the corner. You can see the jail from there. Now, when they turn Perkins loose, come on back here and let me know.
What difference does it make? We're going to hang Cartwright anyway, ain't we?
Just get down there and let me know.
Okay, I just want to be in on the fun, that's all.
You know, there wasn't any need to send the boy. Because they'll hang Perkins, all right. And after they do, they'll be coming here for you. Let them come. They've been after me before. They haven't got a thing they can prove against me. They will have. After you hang me. Shut up, Cartwright. Shut up or I'll yank this table out from under you right now.
You'll never go through with it.
What's so funny?
Old Ben Cartwright. I bet he ain't so high-minded with a rope around his neck.
Let go of me!
Move, boy.
Come on, let go! Let go of me!
Get, boy. Move, boy.
Let go of me!
We found him down by the corner.
McNeil, one of Bryant's men.
What'd you do with my pa? Where is he?
It's 5 o'clock.
You hung the farmer.
We told you we was going to, boy.
All right. All right, you want to know where your pa is? I'll tell you where he is. He's down at the old stable, hanging on the end of a rope. You thought you'd back Sam Bryant down. Well, you go down there and see.
No. Go on, the stable.
Listen to me, all of you. Look, I brought Ben Cartwright back. I didn't do nothing. Now, look, I'm giving him back his gun. You done right hanging Farmer Perkins.
You turned yellow. You let the farmer down. You're just like Norton said you was. You let other people do your killing for you.
Feel all right, Pa?
Yeah, I'm all right. Fine.
You know something? You boys look awful good to me.